All right. In 3, 2, 1. All right. I'm James. You're here with my partner Zach, and together we form the White Bear, which is I'd say, opinion blog where we kind of talk about topics that are kind of circulating in the news, things that we're reading, and kind of other random topics. We kind of just wanted to set up something as an outlet for kind of a voice of opinion and reason from kind of our age group and generation. How would you say that sounds?
I think that sounds about right.
All right, yeah.
Pick the slogan, addressing the elephant in the room, which coincidentally enough is also the title episode of the first podcast.
Yes. And kind of just giving real, raw takes on things. Trying not to be too politically correct, and then I don't know if you would agree with this overly politically correct world these days, I would say.
Yeah, that's fair. Or even not even necessarily not being politically correct, but maybe trying to be a little more real than a lot of takes you get.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with that.
You can predict like the first 5 points of like almost any side anybody's going to make an argument for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's boring, James.
It is very boring. And a boring world is not what I want to live in. I'm not going to lie to you. So
no.
Let's make this shit interesting and break the wheel.
Yeah, break the fucking wheel. I guess the other thing, we haven't really actually talked about this explicitly, but I think it's implied, right? Just that you being an African American and me being a European American, and have a nice, I don't know, back and forth, yin and yang, whatever you want to call it, where we're trying to sort through kind of things too from two different perspectives, where we obviously came from very different areas, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and that's kind of the best part about it. Like, I mean, we bounce things off of each other all the time, and I would say, kind of like I wouldn't have wanted to do it with anyone else, but it's definitely makes it that much better that we are opposites. We literally call each other anti ourselves. Yes. So that is
opposite number jersey colors.
Yeah. So, and I've never heard of someone call themselves a European American. You're white.
I don't know how to say that. I'd say black. So I want to make it sound the same.
Yeah. I feel you. But
new term, making new terms.
Yeah. There you go.
White people like that, James.
So you want to just start off where we started with the blog?
Yeah, let's do it. Jump right into the NFL.
Yeah. We started off this thing right when Cap's shit hit the fan, so that was nice. They gave us something to talk about.
For sure.
If you're not caught up with the whole situation, Colin Kaepernick was the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, and he was sitting during the national anthem during the preseason games last season. And this kind of caught the attention of some people, and let's just say people weren't happy. They immediately assumed that he was disrespecting America, our veterans, and people weren't happy. That's something that
people still aren't happy.
Yeah, people still aren't happy, even though he's tried his best to clear it up. People have tried to clear it up. He met with veteran ex-NFL player Nate. I forget his name. It's on tip of my...
I forget his name too.
Yeah, but let's just say he served in the military, active duty, and he met with him, had a session. They talked about how he could protest without offending veterans, and the veteran NFL player, whose name escapes me right now, he said that what we do for our fallen brothers is we kneel. So the best thing you could do, and I think it's respectful, is to kneel, and that's what Kaepernick did, and people still weren't happy. So right now, you should know that Colin Kaepernick isn't signed to a team right now, and a lot of people think he's being blackballed. So that's the gist of the situation.
That's because he sucks.
Yeah, that could also be it.
Brandon Whedon just got signed to another contract. So.
That's true.
I don't think there's any fucking reason for Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah. Cap's a vegan, though. I don't know how I feel about that.
That's true. That would bother me as a teammate.
Yeah. Like, I can't even have a steak with this guy. Like,
the fuck does this guy think he is?
Yeah. Like,
but yeah, we wrote those articles. I remember we were fairly well aligned, I think, in our opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was more focused on how the flag doesn't really represent anything. It's more what the people who wave it do, and that's kind of where it gets its meaning from.
Right.
Yours was, I can't quite remember exactly what the topic was, but
mine was more in line of my perspective on the situation as an African American, and with my dad being a veteran, like the flag means a lot to me, but I also have faced prejudices and things of that nature. So, though I didn't agree with necessarily him kneeling during the national anthem, I agreed with his First Amendment right, and that the flag is a symbol of what protects his right to do that. So, just the basic.
Right.
Basic
so
thing.
you're kind of a uniquely, I don't know if qualified is the right word, but from a life experience standpoint, there's plenty, but there's not a huge majority of people who are both African American and have family members in the military, right?
Right. I would say that. Yeah, we get shot at enough in the hood. I don't think a lot of people like to go in the military. So
that seems like a fair point that I never really thought of.
No, I don't like. There's a certain type of. I don't know how to say it. It's not like illogical, but like weird, unspoken things in the Black community that Not saying that we don't like to serve the military, because plenty of African Americans do, but like that's not the first choice. Clearly, with the amount of people would rather I don't want to generalize every African American community, but sell drugs than go to the military and make a salary.
Well, so. That's kind of an interesting thing, because the military is a great way to just guarantee yourself some mobility,
right?
Just by for a few years, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And like, if you stay in long enough, these days they'll pay for your school and you never have to really worry about anything. Not worry about anything. You got to go to combat if that's what you decide to do, but
right,
it's an option that isn't looked at as much as it should be specifically in African American communities, I think. So, yeah. But I did want to ask you, how do you feel about him being blackballed? Because that's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, like at first I was kind of, I don't want to say okay with it, but I was kind of like, well, like, even though I kind of agree with his protests and I'm okay with him doing it and all that stuff, like, it doesn't bother me. Mm-hmm. Like when he goes up to the press conference wearing the pig socks, or when he wears the Fidel Castro shirt.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you're just like doing things just to be obtuse right now. So you're kind of doing this to yourself. But he hasn't done anything like that for at least half a year.
Right.
So I kind of like matured in his own way along the way. And now he's 100% for sure getting blackballed.
Yeah, 100%. I'm pretty sure he even said he'd stand during the national anthem. And I remember before we even wrote the pieces that I think we said that we both didn't really feel like he was the right person to be leading this type of thing. Yeah. So
I guess somebody has to do it.
Yeah,
But that critique's a little unfair.
yeah. I mean, yeah, he's definitely a martyr at this point.
All right. Like if Myles Garrett does it, like who's gonna stop him?
True. Yeah, and
But
that's what was nice about like Malcolm Jenkins stepping up. Like they ain't benching Malcolm Jenkins. Come on, like, like who else?
well, that's part of it, right? You got to be sufficiently good, which Kaepernick's a pretty good player, but he's not the guy who's taken San Francisco to the Super Bowl anymore. So
Yeah, exactly. And like,
he's not at the right threshold to not get himself blackballed, which is unfortunate. But
like if he were like slightly above the skill level, well, I can't even say he's not slightly above the skill levels of the average backup in the NFL because he does have a bit of a resume.
yeah,
But oh, excuse me. Nick Foles just set a whole new bar for backup quarterbacks, so I guess he's not anymore. But and also Eric Reed.
yeah. So I'm curious to see where that one goes, because he's also just a very meh player.
Yeah,
The safety market, like literally stagnant. Like, I think what is Honey Badger like the only one that's been signed.
Yeah, I think so.
So it seems like that whole position, people are just waiting until after the draft. But it'll be interesting because right now, the way I feel about Cap is he's getting the Ray Rice treatment, kind of.
Yes. Yeah.
And by that, right, they pick one guy and just rake him over the coals for this and move on because they don't actually really care that much. They're just, like they don't care about domestic violence. They don't care about the protests, right? That's 70% of their workforce probably agrees with the protests. Like they don't want to make a big stink about it. They just want to do one little thing for the fans and then move on, I guess. That makes sense.
Yeah,
So,
no, it does.
interested to see where the Eric Reed situation goes.
Yeah, and I think, it would be weird for him not to get. I mean, he is a Pro Bowler, so I mean, he's got that.
Did he make a Pro Bowl? I didn't know he ever made a Pro Bowl.
I think he made a Pro Bowl like his rookie year. I think. It was like really early, but
okay, so back before San Francisco just collapsed.
Yeah. So I don't know. He's got a little bit on. I mean, he's average. You're right, but it's
good enough to play for sure.
Wait, say that again.
It's good enough to play for sure.
Yeah. It would just be weird in my eyes for them to blackball more than one player.
Yeah, it would be.
And I think that would hurt the NFL too, because
yeah, you'd think so, but then I mean, Ray Rice. I don't want to say like I don't even know how to say it, but right as far as domestic violence goes, that's like as mild as it can possibly be. And it's like fucked him, but then Greg Hardy went around slamming girls through coffee tables or whatever the hell he did.
Yeah,
He's just like bouncing around the fucking league, like.
I'm pretty sure he threw his girlfriend on a pile of
right.
Of weapons, of like AK-47s or something crazy.
Like the most stereotypical fucking NFL player crime there could possibly be.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking wild. But
yeah, God, Tyreek Hill was the coffee table one. Nobody even cared. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, just wild. Yeah, and like, I don't say it goes with how the media goes because the Greg Hardy thing was pretty big too, but like Ray Rice's thing was huge in the media, and like Cap was like huge in the media. So, that's the majority of things that people see. So of course they're going to come down harder on those.
Yeah, something about being the first time it happened. I remember defending Ray Rice when that happened, and it was like so hard because I wasn't trying to defend the fact that he punched his girlfriend. Like the amount of shit that he did and has done for like the city of Baltimore, just in terms of like charities and stuff. Like, on. He's not like a horrible person.
Mhm.
He's got drunk and mad and punched his girlfriend.
Yeah, that's.
Happens the best of us, right?
I must not be the best of us because,
Just kidding.
yeah.
Woman for anybody who's listening. God. Well, actually, Hannah that one time at the bar, but that was an accident.
Wait, what? What?
And were you not there for that?
That's a story for another time.
It was nothing. Don't worry.
That's fine. We'll cut it out. What other race things are going on? What?
Well, lots.
Well, league based.
League based. How about the Michael Bennett thing?
Oh yeah. We didn't talk about
that. I don't know how I feel about that because just like reading what happened, it's kind of ambiguous, but it sounds kind of like somebody in Texas is being racist and they just hate Michael Bennett. But also, I don't think Michael Bennett deserves any benefit of the doubt at this point after the Las Vegas thing.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I've never really been like. I like Martellus. Let's just say that. Never been the biggest Michael Bennett fan. Not gonna lie.
He's always seemed a little volatile.
Yeah. He like what did he say in the media the other day? Something about you need like 4 Marshawn Lynches in your locker room.
I don't know. I didn't see that.
He's like, yeah, you only need. Of course, he leaves Seattle and bashes Russell Wilson. That's like the first thing he does. He's like, oh, you don't need a bunch of Russell Wilsons. You need like 4 Marshawn Lynches. You need a bunch of thugs in the locker room. And I'm like, no one needs 4 Marshawn Lynches in the locker room. Like, everybody's fine with just one.
In defense of that statement, Russell Wilson does come off like fucking Ned Flanders or something.
Yeah, he does, but he can fucking ball, though. He can ball. Which is just crazy to me, because he stole a rapper's girlfriend, he's like Super Bowl MVP, and he goes to church on Sunday. So, I don't know.
That's my favorite thing, dude. First of all, that he never fucked Sierra, that's hilarious. I don't even know how he got away with that.
That should be a crime. He should be in jail for that right now.
Second of all, the Legion of Boom would put fucking Future music on at practice just to fuck with him.
That is kind of fucked up.
Like, I can just visualize that. Like Richard Sherman and Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor just like talking shit while they're listening to Future, and Russell just being up the old self.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot he has a book coming out.
Does he?
Yeah, I gotta read that. I think he wrote one already. I think.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a Tim Tebow book?
Oh, not Russ. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he has one out, and I think he was about to release another one, but they postponed it. Yeah, but he's always been just kind of loose, volatile.
Real modern day cowboy.
Yeah. But what's where were we?
We're just moving from NFL thing to NFL thing. What about Lamar Jackson receiver talk? Do you think that's racist or a compliment?
You know, everything, like, it's hard for me to say that it's racist, just because, you know what? No, it's definitely race related, because people like to use the Josh Allen comparison. Like, yeah, he's the same size as Gronk and probably runs the same 40, but nobody's calling him a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And On the flip side of that, though, like they're like people are just. I don't want to say like rate. I hate using that term because it's an extreme.
You
But
don't want to say that, but it's always an old white guy that brings up the idea of him playing receiver.
right, yeah. But it's also an old white guy who uses racist terms for like white players too. Like when a white player runs a 4.5, it's like, oh, he's sneaky fast. Like, why, or like high motor guy, you know? You know what I'm saying?
Real gritty, lunch pail guy, first one in.
Lunch pail guy. Maybe he's just athletic. How about that? Like,
What was that at Penn State safety running the combine at John Sanders? What the fuck did he say? That was hilarious.
He was like, I gotta go hug this guy. He can run. He was like shocked. That kid was fast though. I'm not gonna lie. Like he was like really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, but I think I watched Lamar Jackson's pro day, and
did he look good?
It looks so effortless for him that like if he got like some mechanics things down with like his feet, I don't know. He's got a lot of upside.
Good. Yeah.
Like
he does have just like a slingshot or something. I don't know, like the way his throwing motion goes, he just like cracks it like a whip.
Yeah. It looks like he's like flicking his wrist. Like it's like a flick of the wrist. It looks so easy, but it's just like, hey, Michael Vick did it. You know, Michael Vick wasn't killing dogs. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
But
bad move.
Yeah, real bad move. He came back and got a huge contract though. So
he did.
Yeah.
For him. Fun player to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think he's got tremendous upside. I think that just a quick transition that the Browns. I'm hearing a lot of, Browns need to play it safe. They need to get this one right. I'm saying, fuck that. Take a risk. All right.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at on the whole situation. Like,
sounds like it's gonna be Sam Darnold, which is cool, but
yeah, it would be a lot cool.
He's as cool of a customer as you can get, but I don't get the fans that hate the idea of like a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Like the things that both of them can do, none of the other quarterbacks can, like or ever will be. Like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand that. Like, sure, Jamarcus Russell had an arm that no one else had, but Jamarcus Russell was also stupid. So I don't think any of these other kids.
A lot of purple drink.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of these kids, or these, at least Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, and even like Baker, are stupid as he was. So
no. Baker fascinates me. I kind of want Baker really bad because he's so much fun and so infectious, but at the same time, I can't tell if he's really gritty or not.
Yeah, that kind of gets me too.
Like, if he was on Wyoming and they were losing a bunch, would he have been okay? That's what I wonder.
I don't think so. I think he would cause at least on the college level. I don't know if he would do it in the pros, but he might be that guy that causes some problems in the locker room.
It's possible.
I just can see him being, not that like I'm comparing his talent to like Jay Cutler because I fucking hate Jay Cutler, but like in terms of like chewing out his teammates and like his line like Jay Cutler did. That's the only thing I would be worried about with him.
Like if you're not performing, it pisses people off.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're Peyton or Tom Brady, you can be an asshole all you want.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, he's interesting. He seems. I don't know. He's got a lot of Northeast Ohio type guy. You know what I'm saying? He just, the way he plays just reminds me of like someone who comes from a place where like football really matters.
Yeah. Right in the middle of Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I feel you. Oh, so speaking of where football really matters type thing.
Mhm.
Did you see like a lot of people just getting pissed about the take that Darnold is a better fit for Cleveland than Josh Rosen because it's a blue collar place?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Did you see some of the overreaction to that shit? It blew my mind.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's wild to me.
Like
That's
on Reddit in particular, on the Browns Reddit, I was on there the other day and it got brought up.
hmm
So it was like a big heated thread, and there was like comments just like way upvoted to the top. There were things like, "Oh, not so thinly veiled anti-Semitism," because the conversation around the election of President Trump has somehow made blue collar equal to racist or anti-Semitic in people's minds, which
yeah,
doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
yeah, that's ridiculous.
Fucking Trump.
Yeah, I mean, that's just. I heard comments like that. You know, him being Jewish and whatnot, and being from wherever he's from in California, Manhattan Beach or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, and then that's what people get mad about because Darnold's family's also got some money, but
yeah.
clearly like a personality thing, not, like Darnold it does have that down to earth personality, and that's what that lunch pail type thing going on.
Yeah, and I mean, it just doesn't make. If you can play, you can play, and I know a lot of the, at least from the mainstream media, points were that if he's got money to fall back on, he won't play as hard. But like, there's a certain pride, especially when you play like a quarterback, like, or a position like quarterback, play in a sport like football in general. Like, you don't want to go out there and just not try. That's stupid.
If he was worried about his health, he would be staying at UCLA another year and getting his degree and just falling back on his family money. Like,
yeah, exactly.
At this point, I think everybody's pretty well aware of the head injury risks in particular.
Mm-hmm. He did play tennis, though. That's some real white boy stuff.
That is really some fucking
Cali white kid.
I haven't used that word in like a year. God, that felt good.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that word later, but
me just throwing it around. I say as I go to my school for my space thing.
Yeah. Oh, so quick transition back to our original topic. Current race relations in the U.S. What do you think? I don't even know. I don't think I want to start this, but
I got one. Do you think? So obviously things feel more heated now, at least than they have in a while. Probably a lot to do with social media and the Don and all that.
Yeah.
Do you think that the whole President Trump thing is making things worse? Or do you think that we're in the middle of kind of a purge state, if you will, where the whole country is the white bear right now, feeling each other out and sorting this out?
That's a good question. I think, it's the latter. I think like we might be in a better place for it. I mean, our country's always been a place that's not always thrived off, adversity, but like this is really exposed. Exposed is the right word. It has exposed a lot of like underlying tensions that have always been there that people were just ignoring, and kind of got diverted to, of course, around 9/11, after we declared war on terror. everything kind of got diverted to another group of people, and a group of people specifically, like, we got, I think after a little bit, we even got over, like, oh, you know, the whole Muslim thing in the U.S. Like, not that it's over now. Like, I know that there's a lot of people that, a lot of women that couldn't wear, like, their hijabs after 9/11, and, you know, they didn't want to be profiled that way. But I think that that has eased a little bit, and that, I don't know, we still were kind of worried about ISIS the last couple of years, but, like, now that Trump's in office, like, it's, like, focused on internal issues, which I think is nice, and less on external issues. Like, we care about Kim Jong and ISIS. When's the last time there's been a big ISIS story? Like, I don't think there has been in a
I'll
while.
go smashed up pretty good, like right at the beginning of the year here, I think.
Yeah,
Still
but
exists, obviously, but
yeah, but there was a good time where, like, it was like, oh, every day you're hearing something different. But now it's like every day it's a different U.S. issue. I think has spurred a lot of, like, participation
yeah, that's
in our
true.
country, which is nice. Um, yeah. So that's where I'm at on it. I don't know. We're feeling everybody out. Everybody's just, you know, it's a big tender date right now, I think.
I definitely think the next election will hinge, or will kind of be like a pivot point for it, right? Like we've got a few more years for us all
Mm-hmm.
to, I don't know, slug it out, if you will.
Yeah.
And then if somehow Trump got reelected, or, you know, it's certainly not outside the realm of possibility at all for the Democrats to find their own demagogue of a sort, not the same kind, but,
Yeah.
you know, they could be just as divisive. And if something like that happened, then I think it could get worse, for sure.
Yeah, because, and I don't want to defend the far right here, but if we, I just don't like the idea of going too far left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like
But,
slow change is better than rapid change.
right. So, and that would be like, yeah, you think we
I
got to
think
say, what, say, go again?
I was just to say, like, if it was like, I mean, God, he'll be like 80 or something, but if it was like a Bernie who's
Mm.
really far left, I
Mm-hmm.
don't particularly agree with on a lot of things. He at least comes off as like a reasonable person, like a John Kasich or something, right? He's
Yeah,
at least willing to work with people.
right.
So that I think would be okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But, you
that's
know,
fair.
I don't know many Democratic politicians' names, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't either. I know a couple of people in Ohio, but yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens to the Conservative Party as well, just in general, since right now it's not really itself in a lot of ways, besides like a few people that are just like, fuck off.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, that's what's, like, I mean, like, you can call it the Trump effect. Like, he even divided conservatives. Like, like,
Yeah.
how are you that divisive of a person? You know?
But just generally being a thoughtless asshole, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think here's the thing though, like I think it's interesting, like uh it's all right, a lot of people racism is like a big contributor to him getting elected, right?
Yeah,
And I totally get people crying foul about that.
mm-hmm.
I think it's completely wrong. But at the same time, I feel like the left side kind of started the heavy identification with like your race or your ethnicity or religion or whatever.
Yeah,
And then, you know, now you're kind of crying foul when then the gigantic majority of white people punch back in an ugly way.
true.
It's like I don't really want like any sides to be that focused on it, you know. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Muddy waters here, trying to express what I'm trying to say.
No, you're good. I also, like, I mean, in terms of him getting elected, other than, you know, the white population punching back, so to say. Not the white population, but, conservatives. Motherfuckers didn't vote. That also didn't help anything.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, you can make a big thing about the racist part because it was there and it was a big part of it, but also, like, you're coming off of a 2-year or a two
term.
Two-term, yes, thank you, Democratic president. So that's always an indicator that the other party is going to be more popular.
Right.
Nobody liked Hillary. Why you nominated her, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was so unenthusiastic about it that Trump got less votes than Romney got the cycle before.
Yeah.
While it was there, it was like a combination of factors that led to him being able to win. I don't think he can do it again.
Mm-mm. I agree with that. And I also think that, repping for Ohio, Kasich should have declared earlier for the...
Yeah, dude, that... Speaking of media rooting things, the fact that he just never got any attention on anything, like, blows my mind.
Yeah, that was crazy. Because I don't know. I would have voted for him. But...
Yeah, I actually did vote for him. I wrote him in.
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah, it's smart. There you go. Paying attention to your democracy. Writing in candidates.
We'll see. I don't know. I want to say that because I think he would be a really good president because he is reasonable. Mm-hmm. But like conservatives hate him and liberals hate him because he's not enough of either of them. So
yeah.
I do think actually. I don't want to say I follow him closely, but I pay a little bit of attention. So I'll listen to an interview every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the impression that he for sure wants to run in 2020. And I get the impression that he's going to do it as an independent.
Oh, okay.
And so I think his thing is either I'm going to win or I'm taking Trump down with me. Trump wanted him to be his vice president, if you remember that. And he's just like, fuck off.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. I mean, Trump denied it, of course, but that was his first choice. So now we have I don't know what you call Mike Pence.
There are a lot of words to describe Mike Pence.
That's actually, to that too, I know Trump is a giant fucking gas bag, but Mike Pence is like an effective evil man. Do you really want to get rid of Trump and have Mike Pence be the fucking president? I don't know if you do.
Yeah, that's an actual dilemma. Every time I see that guy, it's just, I don't know. And the white hair, is he even alive? Does anyone know? Have we confirmed whether Mike Pence is alive?
He might be a fucking skeleton, I don't know.
Oh, God. Where were we? How Trump is... Huh?
I said we're just spitballing.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Changing vernacular in weird ways. Mm-hmm. So blue collar equal racist? Question mark.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about that a little bit with Rosen, and it's kind of annoying because it's just become an easy shorthand because that's what people like to say because Trump won the Midwest or whatever. It's the blue collar voters that got left behind, and that's only true in a couple counties and cities that the Democrats would normally win. Right? It's not the biggest swath of his voters by any means.
No.
The idea that you just describe all of his voters like that, he's a thing for the common people, and now blue collar means you're a racist asshole, seems silly.
Yeah, that never really made sense to me because, I mean, just on the most basic levels and intuitive levels, mostly everybody's blue collar.
Yeah.
So
But
I don't know how many Wall Street execs they got working in these inner cities, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot of blue collar people. So that
pretty sure their empire is built on the backs of the blue collar workers.
yeah. So that really doesn't make sense. Especially, what was I gonna say? I had a point. Oh, like, yeah, I guess that's just where like Trump gets just confused, not confused, but like Trump kind of screws over the GOP
Mm-hmm.
because there are plenty of people that are just like solid people that just don't want to claim that they're conservative now,
Right.
and like I typically lean a little right, just because
Yeah.
No,
I feel it.
like now I'm just like, Wakanda forever, and I gotta go.
That was a good fucking movie.
Gotta go completely left.
Anything helped solve race relations in the United States, it was fucking Black Panther.
I know that's that's what they should have. That's what MLK's granddaughter should have yelled at the March for Our Lives. Wakanda forever. That's what she.
Fucking lit.
I was at that thing. It was fucking.
Were you really? That's cool.
Yeah, it was dope. I don't know if we should talk about that, but like right now. But
get to that in another episode. So we're at 46 minutes here. I think the recording stops at an hour, just so you know. So we got some more time, but
okay, cool.
Probably not enough time to completely switch topics.
All right, yeah. I mean, the rest of we're kind of coming toward the end of our talking points anyway. I mean, should we coordinate Don as God Emperor, Teflon Don
at the end? What about the guns? I think that might work.
Oh, should engraved guns replace virgin tickets? Of course. I'm the biggest Second Amendment advocate.
Then you don't have to worry about voter ID either, because you just take your gun to the voting booth with you.
Exactly.
Everybody wins.
Hey, I live in Virginia. Virginia is like, which is crazy because Virginia is a huge like gun state, because the NRA is headquarters is like 15 minutes from my apartment. So
really?
Like, yeah. So like, because they got to be close to DC. So like DC is really strict on guns, and so is Maryland. Which in the piece that which I probably shouldn't talk about it, but the piece that I'm publishing whenever we publish next, talks about. I just talk about guns again, and like Baltimore's like murder rate is like super high. In Maryland, like I refuse to live in Maryland because I can't really. I can have my guns, but I can't really like do anything. Not that I would do anything, but like,
yeah, that's right.
I'm extremely restricted. It's risky, but yeah, it's just weird that like there's such a contrast because Virginia is on one side of the river and like DC and Maryland are on the other, and
well,
yeah,
Virginia was the seat of the Confederacy.
People say that. There's also a Confederate statue around the corner from my house. So,
history.
Which I was just watching some. I don't know if you know. Do you know who Ben Shapiro is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch Ben Shapiro. Like I'll go extremely in the media intake. I go extremely far right. And I go extremely far left. And
yep.
Like, I try to consume everything. So I was watching they were talking about the Confederate statues or whatever. And I always thought to myself, like, people who are, like, for the Confederate flag and for Confederate statues, like, number one, just, if you're so patriotic, like, the Confederacy was a foreign nation that tried to take over our lands, basically. And I use "our" very loosely. But also with Confederate statues, like, come on, like, this is the United States. We glorify winners, and we fucking nullify losers, and they're a bunch of fucking losers. So I'd like
Yeah,
to take their statues down, put them in a
yeah,
museum. There's a bunch of. I was just at the National Gallery of Art. It's a beautiful place. There's plenty of room for fucking statues if you want to put them there. And
yeah. So you know what? I actually like every time something like this comes up, or you can look at like the fucking kid yesterday, the gun kid from the school,
yeah,
and that stupid Fox News lady who's like said something dumb to him.
mm-hmm.
So then everybody just immediately goes into a mob and like starts boycotting her advertisers, and he won't accept her apology and stuff. Like every time something like that happens, or like with the statues, like I'm always like, yeah, that's fucking that person's an idiot. Like, why do you want a fucking statue of General Lee up in the middle of your town? That's fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But I also like hate the mob vindictive reaction to just go like topple things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, with like the statues, I guess like. Why don't you just find some old racist white person that wants to buy them, and you can auction them off, and then that money can go to charities that are like for African Americans or something, you know?
Yeah, that's
Like something like that. Like if he wants this fucking statue at his house, fine, but it shouldn't be in the town.
yeah.
You don't necessarily need to just like destroy it in the night.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and like,
Yeah, I don't know. You know, you can find a constructive use to getting rid of it.
yeah. No, I agree with that. That's actually kind of a good idea. But like, yeah, mob mentalities are so dangerous, especially in democracies.
That's like my biggest fear going forward is like what the tech companies are slowly being able to do,
Mm-hmm.
and if they become too ideologically homogenous in like any direction, then like God knows what random like power that's going to unleash.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's and that's kind of where I like wish people would see like more grand scheme thing. not that they're scheming, but like there's moral obligations for everything, I guess.
Yeah,
I would say. And
I do hate anything that like when it gets off balance, right? It's like all of our oldest wisdom in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to go to Aristotle, you can talk about like excess and deficiency. You want to go to like Buddhist philosophy, you can talk about balance and yin and yang and stuff. And it's like, yeah, no, there's a reason that's been a thing forever because you don't want things to get volatile like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if you completely agree with like the far left or the far right, you need the other side.
And that's where like before, I think I said like going forward, there's not a playbook, but like first of all, people refuse to read a book and get their heads out of their phones.
True.
But like it's so hard these days to kind of lean on not lean on history, but like people are so like social media. Not to blame everything on social media because I don't want to sound like an old man, but like it's so hard to get out of your own way and like get out of the way of people that are like.
If you want to bring history into it, like you know, you see people retweet history things or whatever, or post history things all the time, and it's always like not wrong, but it's just like missing stuff because they're looking at it from a point of perspective that they already believe to be true.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, well, that's not really how you're supposed to interpret history.
Right. Exactly. I mean, you got to look at it as a whole. Like, if I just, like, looked at, quick example, the U.S., we came to this foreign place and conquered this land, but, like, we murdered millions of people. And I don't know why I keep saying we, because I got dragged here, too, technically. But, like, it's just
true.
It's just
I would like to take this time to point out that all of my ancestors are German and Irish immigrants, so we weren't rich British people. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, German. So I don't know.
was before the Nazis. That's not fair.
Oh yeah, whatever you say, man.
I gotta say that good points.
What? What'd you say?
I said I gotta say though they had some good points.
Yeah.
Just kidding, guys. I don't like Nazis.
Yeah, my girlfriend's Jewish, so let's not say things too loud.
Is Rachel there? Is she listening? Giving you some support for the first podcast?
She is here. She's not listening though.
Uh-oh.
But
She can
yeah.
listen later. Tell us what she thinks.
Oh yeah, she's got to. I always have her proofread all of my stuff anyway. But so the last thing, how much time we got? We got 5
minutes exactly.
The wall. Dun dun dun. The wall.
Yeah, we shouldn't be building a wall. We should just invade Mexico. I mean, that'll solve the problems, right?
Oh, absolutely. And we get all this cheap labor. And well, actually, it wouldn't be cheap at that point because they would be U.S. citizens.
Yeah. Spoils of war, man.
That's called slave labor, Zach. But yeah, the wall. He actually was like talking about like allocating funds from the military to build the wall, and that's like the opposite of what the people that voted for him want.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. I don't get the hang up on the wall at all.
Yeah, that literally makes no sense. Especially if you
want to weaken the cartel, start by decriminalizing drugs. Like that's
yeah
move right there.
Right. And I'm sure. I mean, you're in Colorado right now. I mean, I'm sure it's enjoyable.
Yeah, I've only partaken a couple of times. It's not my thing really, but
yeah, I feel you on that.
Actually, too, I'm in like the western counties of Denver here. It's like all only approved for medicinal use. So if I want to get some, I have to like drive all the way into Denver, and it's just not worth it to me.
Yeah, especially when you can just buy alcohol.
Yeah. I'm definitely an alcohol guy.
But yeah, it's like, I'm pretty sure a lot of like immigrants get over here via plane anyway, so it's kind of. I think I saw that online somewhere. Don't quote me on that, but like.
I mean, it's like, who cares anyways, right? Like, nobody's cared about, like, the people just coming over to do shitty jobs and make money. Like, I doubt they're causing that many problems. It's the fucking cartel that really is what you want to stop.
Yeah, exactly.
They're fucking kidnap people and shit.
Mm-hmm. And, like, come on. No one's paying, like, fucking $15 for a carton of strawberries.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want your oranges to cost $10 per orange? Yeah, go pick them joints yourself, I guess.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we're headed there anyways with global warming and all that, which is a hoax.
Oh, God.
We'll save that conversation for another time. But,
yeah.
I think it's about time to wrap it up. What do you think?
Yeah. I think that was a good one. That went better than I thought it would.
Hope everybody enjoyed. All like 4 people that we get to listen to this.
Yeah, and if you're listening, please share. So we appreciate the time.
We greatly appreciate it.
Yep. This is the White Bear, and we are signing off.
You stay classy, America.
Thanks, Zach.
All right, I'm gonna finish recording.
All right, I'll see you later.